Hey everyone, hi. Just gonna give everything a moment to line up with Facebook. Hope you're having a really good Monday of a long weekend. Hey, how are you? Okay, today's project. Still getting used to this camera. It's a little annoying, but that's okay. So today's project's a little different. I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. It's again Notes and Totes Bundle. I mean, I think this has become a favorite for a lot of people. And I've been playing with this a lot lately, so here we go. And this one. So Notes and Totes. Now this one definitely very tote themed. But what about notes? So I'm doing something a little different this time around. I'll just pull it. Let's peek at the dies for a sec. Just to kind of remind ourselves what's here. I already have pulled out here the totes one because I've been working on something else entirely. So I've got these I've been working on. And I'll just kind of briefly show. I'm working on for a customer these that she wanted done up. And then she provided the paper and I've just been mucking around with making totes for her. But that's not today. Today is I'm focusing on these two pieces. It's like, what the heck are these? I have no idea. Like, originally it was like, I don't know. Like, to me, this looks like a clutch type purse, or it could be an envelope. Even this, like, what is this box? So my interpretation of these two dies is mail in a mailbox, is what I'm going with today. Whether that's accurate or not, I have no idea. If you've done something different with these, I would love to see it, because I don't even know what they are. So here's the dies. I'm just going to put these away now, because I've already die cut the pieces that we're doing today. That way, speed it up, or else I might be here 2 hours. I'm not sure if you all want that. I'm a crafter that I will do start to finish in a live video. And of course, my curtain's up behind me, but oh well. Doesn't matter. I'm chaotic. It's the holidays. So I have all my papers and stuffs pre-cut. And also, FYI, the embellishments I'm using is the Rhinestone Basic Jewels. I like simplicity, and I think that stuff works really well for me. And it just occurred to me, one of my camera settings is not active. Oh, well, let me find it. I thought it was on. Helps if I check this ahead of time, but I don't. Anyway, this is how I roll. So I do have my measurements roughly written out here. But I'm going to start with a piece of garden green cardstock, just normal size, the 8.5 by 5.5, and then when you fold, it's 4.25 by 5.5. You know, simple and sweet is my style. Just gonna grab my bone folder, which is way over there. So I'm gonna work on with this as the card base. Also double checking my layout, because now I'm going landscape today. I also have whoops, ooh, I'm dropping everything. Piece of white cardstock just for the inside, simple and sweet. And I'm not even decorating the inside. I don't usually do, because I always find when it comes time to when I'm gonna give the card is when I may decorate, personalize further. Otherwise, I don't know what to do on the inside. So inside for me is blank. That's just a common thing. But perhaps I should get into decorating the inside. Oh, I just realized this piece of paper has a little bit of a thing to it, because my paper trimmer is in dire need of a new blade. Again, I go through blades like crazy. Let me dig my box, because the one that Playdates was this little eraser looking thing. And this stuff is really good for fixing the edge. It's like, yes, I should use it. Anyway, so you get the kind of idea. Just helps kind of work out the edge a little better. I gotta be careful I don't stick that to my table. Alrighty. I think I'm in the right group. You ever done that where you did a broadcast and it's like, oh wait, am I in the right group? Have I got the right settings? Yeah, that's me sometimes. Well, I'm not used to broadcasting over here. I'm used to doing it on my own Facebook group and stuff. So it's weird when I'm like, I'm somewhere else. Alright, so, I just did, guess everyone's different for how they stick the adhesive down. I use the Seal Plus, my preference. I just put a little bit in each corner, one in the middle. If the paper's a little bit, you know, warped or something, I'll use more adhesive. But I find for me that's good enough, and it's handy for if I write on something on here after the fact and I totally muck it up. I've done that. I'll just rip it out and I can stick a new one on. There we go. Okay. So then next up, I have another piece of white. Now this one, it's not meant to be folded. It was just perfect use of scrap paper. Because sometimes people give me their scraps. And I get to live with them, which is all good, really. So it's just handy to, hey, try to use it up. It's just going to be more or less covered on the card anyway. And then you're probably wondering, Winter Meadows, how does this come into play? Well, I grabbed this sheet, and I'm just going to put that on, centered, and just normal adhesive, whichever adhesive of choice. And then you're probably still wondering, why Winter Meadow? Well, why not? Why not have a little bit of winter in May? We are Canadian. No, it was really because I didn't know what to use for designer series paper because I did. Okay, what I haven't said yet is coming up in a future video. It was on the poll of perennial lavender. That is coming up. I used that, and I did a card with no DSP to kind of show, you know, there's ways of doing crafty things with DSP. And then I did Mediterranean blooms. So I thought, you know what, swap it up. And that's all really the current DSP that I have. Alright, so I've got that. And then I cut a strip of the garden green. This is like a 1/4 inch. And I just want to run that across, like there. Roughly. I'm just going to do a quick test. Yep, more or less. I'm just going to keep that there. This will come in handy soon, but we're not there yet. I just want like a little lower, like there or something. Alright, now I'm going to use adhesive. Now, best adhesive to use, if I can find it, I had it earlier, is glue dots. Where did I put? Oh, there's the glue dots. And I'll take my pick tool today. Why not? I haven't used it in a while. It's not my preference though. Go figure. But that's okay. I don't know. I find it's like too much of a tool. Like I like simplicity. And of course I'm using the pokey edge, which is not going for me very well. Let's try the spatula. Been a while since okay, spatula's kind of nice. Guess I should use it more often. It's actually quite easy to use. Okay, it's been a while. So then pull off the white caps. And yes, there will be stamping involved in this project. I just figure start with some of this to get going. So then this is just going to go across. I'm just going to go like there. And it's the same length as the white. Now if I'm worried about how it lined up, it's a little bit skewed, I'm realizing. That's where grit paper's handy, the glass mat's handy to just kind of somewhat line up. There we go. Of course, my table feels weird. Alright, we're going to come back to that later. So that's a good start. Now this is the die cut for what I call the mailbox. Now, I don't know how well you can see it on the screen because my computer's dirty. But there are scored lines on here, kind of like a mailbox. So, this is just a me that I decided to take a pen. And handy if you have a ruler. If not, it's all good. And I'm just going to draw in those lines it's showing. I'm just double checking where they are. Okay. So there's one along there. And I'm purposely using blue, but any color really. Or just whatever floats and works for you. Just that way it gives those lines something to work with. And I don't care if they're crooked. So there's that line. And then there's a line right along the side there. So I'm just going to do. Actually, there's two. I just realized that now. There's one. And the second one is there. A little crooked, but that's okay. And there's some lineage. Just kind of help fill it in a little bit. I think this connects there. And yes, my pen's a little bleedy, as I call it. Because I got a little drip more up there than intended. It's just a normal pen. I'm obsessed with pens, let me just say that. The more bleedier it is, the more excited I get. I know, it's so silly. Alright, so I'm going to grab a stamp from the Notes and Totes Bundle. And in case you haven't figured it out, I'm going to use the Just a Note, but I'm going to customize the Just a Note a little more. So let's put Just a Note on there. And then I have out here somewhere sticky notes. If I want to use for masking some of that stamp, because I only want the word note. So this might take a bit. Painter's tape would work too. But yeah, I'm probably going to need a few of these. But that's okay. And I'm just going to toss these into my scrap bin. And grab another sticky note. And go along there. So I just want to cover the rest of that stamp. There we go. There we go. I know it's such a waste of like 2 sticky notes, but it works. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm using the sticky side on that section. Now I'm going to use Misty Moonlight for the word note. There we go. And then pull off my stickies. That way only that word is lit up. And I'm just going to stamp on the upper part of what I call my mailbox, the word note. There we go. I'm happy with that. Give that a quick clean. Alright, so then as for these are going to go into my scrap bin, and I actually will use these for another project later on. Go figure. We might cover that later in the month. We'll see. I haven't decided on what I mean by that. So I'm going to put that stamp quickly away. I'm going to grab another stamp. I want to use the little floral leafy piece here. So next up is, remember I showed earlier in the video, the die that is either a clutch purse or an envelope. So I die cut those ahead. I made 4 of them because I tend to do quite a few when it comes to mail. I have a thing for multiples in mail. I don't know why. Now one of them, I'm going to use that greeny leafy thing. I already said green, so it'll be garden green onto that. Just to kind of decorate one of the, as I call it, envelopes. Whatever the heck it is. So then there we go. Just a little bit of decoration to it. And then my last bit of stamping will be on one of the other envelopes, is one of the phrases from the stamp set that kind of fits just perfectly. Like super almost there. Let's see if it's going to work today. If not, oh well. So the one I want to use is So Grateful, A True Story. This is like one of my favorite stamps, actually. Now this one I'm going to use Misty Moonlight again on one of the little clutch envelopes. And it just barely fits. And again, Misty Moonlight. So then just really try to it'll get a slightly cropped. but it'll still look really, really good. There we go. It just fits. If you haven't tried it yet, try it. It kind of makes that clutch envelope, whatever you want to call it, piece of mail, like whatever die cut you want to make it into, super, super neat. Alright, so there, that's all the stamping actually. So really minimal stamping. I kind of came up with this kit. It's just more, I mean, I guess sometimes I like to come up with like a story for some of the cards, as some of you may have seen me before. And like in this one, I kind of felt like a winter story with mail, like, because a lot of times we're setting mail in the winter, so. Alright, so now let's kind of bring all the pieces together. So then this is going to go up here with dimensionals. Where's my dimensionals? There they are. And yes, some people like the way I do my dimensionals. Some people don't like the way I do my dimensionals. It's all good. I am a start to finish kind of person. Alright, pull off the white caps. Oh, one of those is hanging out, and I don't care. No, I say I don't care, but I do care. There, fix it. I care, but I don't. I care because it's you guys. Alright, so then, right side up. And I'm going to rest it on that green pane that I have going on here. And then the leafy envelope is going to go on with dimensionals on it. That way it kind of helps fill in the story of it's like a mailbox. So then I'm just going to use, yeah, I'll use 4. Why not? Make it super on there. Kind of feels overkill though. Yeah, just pulling off the white caps. And then stick that on my weird looking mailbox. There we go. Okay. And then these 3. So this is going to be the one on the top-ish. So really, just double checking how I did this. So really kind of like make a pile of mail kind of thing. Like so. Is what I'm going with. And they're all going to be dimensionals. But kind of do some at a time. So the first one will be dimensionals. The rest, not so much. Because they gotta overlap. I don't want it super overlap with dimensionals. And again, I put that one way on the edge again. I seem to like to live on the edge, do I? Alright, so then this one, kind of like that. A little bit of a skew. And then plan the other one. So this corner will have adhesive, and then these 2 will have dimensionals, okay? So dimensionals, adhesive. Kind of remember where to go. Pulling off the white caps. My little garbage bin is way at the side. So then this one, yeah, kind of like that. And then this one lastly goes on like there. So again, this corner gets adhesive. Let me double check it. And then the rest can get dimensionals. Okay. Good to plan where it all goes. I'm sure we've done it many times where we go to stick something down, we put dimensionals on the wrong side, and we stick something together. Hey, we've all done it. Yeah, I usually try to laugh it off, especially if it's in the middle of a video. Yeah, I've done some silly stuff on video. Alrighty, so then lastly, kind of like that. There we go. There's my pile of mail. I mean, I love getting mail. It must be something about me. I just love it. Like, I check the mail every day during the week, and it's like I get all excited. If I get something, it's like, ooh, someone sent me something. That's cool. So we're not done yet. Obviously, we're not finished our card. If we want it to be a card, it could be anything. It could be a nice little, pictures piece. So let's bring back our card base. So we got the green, the garden green in that. And this is going to go on with more dimensionals, and we're getting there. And it's just a pretty little card. Speaking of dimensionals, where I put them? I put them off to the side again. So again, kind of like how I do adhesive, I just do one in each corner, one in the middle, and call it that. Is how my preference for doing dimensionals and gluing down adhesives and papers and all. And I do more as needed. Okay, starting with my little garbage bin. This is my little garbage bin. I keep throwing stuff into it. I can tell it's had some life lately. And since I started doing like a little bin on the table, oh my god, I've been so much better with not having these white caps all over the house. Because I'd be wearing it, my dog would be wearing it, I go to work, they're at work, like they get everywhere. They're in my laundry, they're in my spouse's clothing, like in hair and everything. But no, it does help to have a little bit of a tray. This wood tray, a bit of a story. Was it last year? No, I think it was the year before. I was at the Acton trunk sale with my dad, and there was a guy who's local to Acton who makes these wood coasters and other stuff. They make really nice wood boards and that for kitchens and that. And it was like, I want those. And because we're like, hey, we bought one thing, and I contacted the guy, he was like, I want another. I got a real good price on them. There's also a phone holder, which is here. A couple other wood trays, but I use this for something else actually. You might see it later in the month. Anyways, so there. Card's almost done. I know I babble a lot. I tell stories. So, I mentioned earlier, Rhinestone Basic Jewels. Simple and sweet, and it works with this type of project. So, I just used 3, because I like to use 3 jewels on the card. It's funny, a while back, a friend of mine was like, you need to use more embellishments. And I'm like, okay, I'll start using embellishments. So, here we are. So, 1, you can tell I haven't used too many of these yet. 2, and then 3. I realized my original one was a little mucked up. My original design. There we go. And that is the finished card, which I really love it. I really do. And it's an interesting take on the Notes and Totes bundle, I think, is doing something totally different. Because obviously everyone's thinking totes. Well, there's other ways you can work with this card that isn't necessarily totes. So there we go. There's my finished card. It's my original one that I made. So, well, same idea. Same paper, like not the same sheet from Winter Meadows, but same type of sheet. And super and sweet. I mean, I love both of them. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to comment and let me know. Hashtag Replay Warrior and all that, because I use that phrase a lot. I got that from the Brenda Stir community at one point when one of her people would mention Replay Warrior. I'm like, I love that phrase. So I'll post a picture of this after. That way you guys can see a little better image versus, my camera work here, my crappy lighting. Anyways, have a great weekend. Have fun. Yeah, I will have another project next weekend. And Paulette says she tries to use more embellishments because lots of leftovers. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to get there. I don't use ribbon much. And I know I need to use ribbon. I even bought thread to do this project, and I still haven't even used it yet. So maybe later in the month, I'll use it. Anyways, I'm going to go. I was going to say have a great night. That's what I usually say. Because most of my live videos are nighttime anyway. Alright, bye!